Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the model year 2023 of the Hyundai IONIQ 5. So let's start off with the design of the car, because that is something special about this car as well. Every electric car is trying to be a little bit more bulky, more round, but the IONIQ 5 is, well, a very square car. As you can see, it has a lot of square touches, and it is also a fairly big car, which you might not expect from an IONIQ 5, because it's supposed to be a compact SUV, which is also a fairly big hybrid now, so that's why the car is also a little bit more popular. So it's a 1.89 m wide, 4.64 m long, and also 1.60 m tall, with 15.5 centimeters of ground clearance. When it comes to design on the side, you can again see it is supposed to be a little bit more squarey, but one thing that's not that nice is if you open the car, these handles don't come out, so you always, if you don't have that much room in your hands, you're gonna have to press it and then you can open it. They're not gonna come out automatically, which is a little bit unfortunate. If we go further to the side, we can also see that we have our pixel lights on here, which are also known when it comes to the Hyundai group, which is, well, they're very lovely. I really like them. They're not, well, they are full LED, but they don't have matrix LED lights, and they're also not adaptive headlights, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I really like the design of them. You also have adaptive aerodynamic down here, which does open. But still, with all of the square design, that CV value is going to be fairly high at 0.288. For comparison, the Ford Mustang Mach-E has a CV value of 0.25, and that is a full SUV. Despite that, the consumption on this car is still fairly low. WLTP claims 17 kilowatts an hour. We are currently at 21.5 kilowatts an hour. That is because we are just people who drive a little bit more sporty and not like very eco-friendly. So if you look at it a little bit more in depth, you can see that, well, we are currently at 31% left of battery and 111 kilometers of range left. If we go further onto the side here, we can see how long we have been driving this car for, which is a total of around 594 kilometers. We've averaged 22.6 kilowatts an hour. If you're driving in city, you can also put one pedal drive in, so you can definitely get that value down a lot, because I've been driving in city a little bit, and if you reset the speed on there, it's going to show you around 16, 17 kilowatts an hour, so you can definitely get it down to that, especially if you're just using this for city driving. And that's going to get the range up to around 701 kilometers claimed by Hyundai. And if you just drive it normally with the rear-wheel drive version, you're going to be having a range of around 510 kilometers. 800 volt technology, 220 kilowatts, vehicle to load, and also bidirectional loading, which is basically the same. So this is what is claimed, but we got in reality, it's fairly cold outside, so we didn't get that much. We started with, what was it, 25%, 21%, so basically 21 to 92% now, which is a fairly long time. It took us a total of 35 minutes for that. We are currently at 29. That's obviously not what we got as max speed. The max speed that we had was 151, and that took us very evenly. You can see at first it went to like 70, that's what it usually does, and then it goes up to 140 and then 150, and then it slowly goes down at the end here. But a fairly good looking loading curve, and you can see it only took us 36 minutes to go from, well, once you're above that 80%, it's obviously going to slow down. So it took us a total, you said around 22 minutes, 21? 25 minutes to go from 20 to 80%, so not that bad. Claimed us from 10 to 80% in around 18 minutes. So it took us a little bit longer, but it is fairly cold outside as well, so temperature is not optimal. There's a couple of different engines that you can get for this car. You have a rear-wheel drive version and also an all-wheel drive version. The all-wheel drive version comes with 325 horsepower and 605 Newton-meters of torque, which is quite a lot. The one that we have here is the rear-wheel drive version, which you can basically do some drifts with, which is pretty nice. That's going to give you 229 horsepower and also 350 Newton-meters of torque, VMAX of 185, and 0 to 100 in 7.13 seconds. So let's see if we can reach that. Traction control off, sport mode on, let's see what we get. Kick is okay. I mean, 229 horsepower, 3.91 and 100 in 7.71, basically the same value that you just got. 7.3 is claimed. Best we were able to get was 7.7. So yeah, we have winter tires and it's also fairly cold outside, so I wouldn't expect too much more out of it. For the rims and the wheels, we have winter tires on here, which are going to make the braking distance a little bit longer. And we also have the 19-inch rims on here. You can optionally also get 20-inch rims. Let's see what the braking distance actually is for the IONIQ 5. In the summer, ADAC, that's our German test reporters here, they did 34.5 meters, which was their best value. It's winter now, so yeah, we'll see what we get. And we have winter tires, so we're going to be probably sliding quite a lot, and the road is also fairly dirty. I mean, you can just hear it. That was really, really long, and it felt like ages. We got a total of 42 meters. He did 41. So yeah, it's nothing great, nothing special, but better value than a couple other cars that we had already tested in the winter condition. The car starts at 43,900 euros if you get the smaller battery, which is a 58 kilowatts an hour battery. If you get the bigger one, that's going to be 77.4 kilowatts an hour battery. That's going to cost you around 54,800 euros, which is the one that we have right here. Our test vehicle, however, is going to cost just over 60,000 euros with all the environmental bonus from Germany and also the Hyundai bonus. You're going to be spending around 53,000, just over 53,000 euros for this car. And you also get a warranty of 8 years, which is quite a lot, and Hyundai is known for that warranty, which is quite nice. The storage capability of this car is also fairly nice. You get a very big trunk, which is 770 liters, up to 1,679. You can see you have a good amount of storage space in here. The loading height is a little bit high, but you can flip over the back seats and you have a little bit more storage space there. You can also see under here, you can put some cables in there. And why the hell is there cat food in here? Is that yours? Why do you have cat food in here? Okay, well, you have that. And on top of that, you can also tow up to 1.6 tons. And you also have a little bit of a frunk, which is nice. And like I said, you do also get a storage space in here, which is going to be 57 liters. So you can definitely put some cables in there, which is going to allow you to just store them nice and easy in there and not have to worry about them in the back. The design on the inside is also very modern and spacious. You can see we have a ton of space in here and just makes it very, very nice to drive and very comfortable. The seats in here are also heated and also ventilated, which is nice. They don't have a massage function, that's unfortunate. Electrical seats for this side and I think for yours as well, which is nice. When it comes to the ambient lighting, it's also pretty cool. You have some lights that are like integrated down here. The music boxes down there also, they light up. You have this pixel design on, so like the pixel logo that's new for the Hyundai and the IONIQ models, which does not light up. You can theoretically get that. I saw it in the IONIQ 6 that does light up at night. You do have like this little drive mode on here, which is pretty cool, so you can select through the different drive modes, which you did already take a look at. The one thing that's also nice is, for instance, you don't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto wirelessly, which is unfortunate, and also the beeping in here is quite a lot of beeping, which is well known for our Asian companies, which is a little bit unfortunate. You do have one-pedal drive, which I already talked about a couple of times now, which is nice. And the display in here, I'm also not a big fan of that. First of all, the white color doesn't fit that nice, and the bezels in here are just insanely big. Like that just, everything looks modern, and you got that screen, which just doesn't look that nice to me because just the borders on here are just insanely big. Infotainment system, very nice, very easy to use, and basically the same as the Kia EV6 GT for EV6. Same display, everything on here is the exact same. You do have a lot of USB-Cs, USB, you don't have USB-C, you have an active loading space down here, and again a lot of storage space down here as well, which just makes it look very nice and very practical. When it comes to the back seats, they are fairly comfortable as well. You can change the inclination of the seats in the back. You can also move them forward and back, so you get some more space in the trunk, for instance, and you also get a 250 watt station or outlet on the bottom, which is cool. That comes with a Technic package, and you also get heated seats in the back as well, and just in general you get a lot of legroom and headroom in the back, which just makes it very, very comfortable. On top of that, another big trunk space in there, which is also pretty cool. And the other aspect of the car is the drivability around town and just the daily usage of the car. With that big trunk and also the front storage space in there, it's already perfect for that. You do have some more assistant features on here. It's fairly well equipped with assistant features when it comes to adaptive cruise control. You have a speed limiter, you have side warners, you have front warning collision, you have rear warning collision, side collision. Basically everything you need. You can also theoretically get a heads-up display optional if you want that. When it comes to driving in city, you do, like I said, have a one-pedal drive, which makes it very comfortable to drive. You do also have the auto hold down here. You can turn that off and on, which is nice. And well, that also sometimes happens. You do have a camera in here, so rear view camera, which is okay when it comes to the quality. You can see we can turn it on. When it gets a little bit more wet, it definitely doesn't get that nice. You have parking sensors in the front and the back, as you just heard. You can theoretically also get a 360-degree camera if you want that as well. The suspension here is also fairly firm, but still fairly comfortable when driving. It's not bad. Ride noise in here is also fairly quiet, and just in general with an electric motor, it's just going to be very comfortable driving in the city. So what is my final verdict on the IONIQ 5? Well, the price is actually fairly decent. If you obviously want to get, just for a city car, you can obviously get the lower battery version. That's going to start at a fairly decent price. With all the environmental bonus in Germany until the end of the year, that is a fairly good price. Design-wise, it also looks very, very good in my opinion. One of the better looking cars that we've definitely tested when it comes to electric cars. The only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is, well, basically the bezels on the inside. That thing is just way too big. And also the turning circle of this car, because it's just such a massive car. You wouldn't expect it from when you look at it from the outside. side, but the car is actually very massive, and then with the 12-meter turning radius, that is just not great and not optimal for city driving. Consumption is also very good on the car, so I, in general, think that is a very good looking car, very good and well-made car. So if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.